Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Staking Mondays. Staking Mondays is a weekly show to share knowledge from key staking industry leaders with our community. And of course, this is all powered by stakingrewards.com. At Staking Rewards, we are helping investors navigate the landscape of yield generating digital assets, helping them find the best opportunities to earn interest on crypto. My name is Ken, and I am with co founder of Staking Rewards today, Merkel Schmiedel, and we are delighted to welcome today's guest, Sameep Singhania. Sameep is the co-founder of QuickSwap. QuickSwap is the biggest DEX on Polygon with close to 1 billion in liquidity. Sameep has a bachelor's degree in computer science and has been a professional programmer for the past about 8 years or so, previously working on OpenBazaar, ParaSwap, and Toptal. So welcome, Sameep.
Thank you, Ken. First of all, thank you guys, Taking Mondays, Mirko, Ken, for hosting me today. Thank you guys for that. And thanks for the wonderful intro. And I'm really looking forward to this podcast. And let's see what you guys have in for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're very pleased to have you on here today. So just to give you a little icebreaker, could you just tell us a little bit of what piqued your interest first in this industry outside of BTC and Ethereum, and why was that?
Yeah. So as you said, I've been into this software development industry for 8 years now. Right, I started my journey in 2013, and I was doing, I was into a regular job, 9 to 6 job, I would say, right? So for initial years of my this development cycle. So, but in 2017, I finally decided that I wanted to try something new, maybe do something of my own, of that sort of thing. So I left my job, right? So when I left my job, I had no idea what I'm going to do next. So literally for a couple of months, I did nothing, right? I was just there in my room, sitting on my bed, watching TV, reading novels, eating, all that stuff. That's what I've been doing. But after a couple of months, I realized I needed to do something, right? Because you cannot, stay like that for long. So then I started figuring out what to do next. So I thought, why not start doing freelancing, right? So I basically went into freelancing just to explore different domains. And while freelancing, I basically landed upon a project which was related to blockchain in 2017. I'm talking about May 2017, right? So, and so at that time, blockchain was very new, crypto was very new, Ethereum in itself was very, very new. So Bitcoin was still there, since 9 years. In 2017, it was 9 years, launched in 2008, right? So, but Ethereum was very, very new at that time, right? So I landed upon a project which was related to Ethereum at that time. If I remember it correctly, it was ERC20 token and then integration in some of the central exchanges at that time, right? So even creating an ERC20 at that time was a challenge for me because there were no resources out there. There was virtually nothing out there on the internet to basically guide you how to work on these type of blockchains or what to do next, right? So I was pretty much very confused, right? But then I realized, that when I read more about blockchain, when I read more about Ethereum, when I read more about the technology in itself, then I realized that this technology is going to change world in next 10 years, right? So, and it was very hard for me to figure out how to work on this. So that basically piqued my interest into this, that, this technology is going to change how things work, right? The chances were very high that this will be a successful technology in the coming future. And right now there are no resources out there. There is no one who truly, there are very few people who truly understand how this works or how to work on top of this, how to develop a contract, how to create a dApp, what is web3. There were very few people out there. So I saw an opportunity here, basically, right? So I saw that this is a great opportunity for me to enter into this particular technology and start working from the very beginning of that particular technology, right? So I joined the wagon in 2017, which was very initial or early days of the Ethereum technology, of the blockchain technology, of the smart contract technology, right? So that basically piqued my interest into this, that this is very new and this is going to boom in the future. So why not join it in the very beginning, at the very early stages of this technology, so that I can see the entire life cycle. I always wanted to join a technology where I can be a part of the technology since very beginning. I wanted to see the entire life cycle of the project, of the technology, I would say. So that's why I would say I joined this technology, blockchain. Then started working on tons of different projects. That's when I joined Toptal. That's when I started working for OpenBazaar. I started working for ParaSwap. There were tons of different projects. I have worked on so many different projects in different domains. I just can't name everyone on this session, but there are tons of things that I've done. So yeah, but the core was technology was new, and in my vision, I could see a future for this technology, and there were very few resources out there. It was hard to do things. So basically, it basically propelled me like towards the innovation, because now even today, if you want to do something on blockchain, if you are stuck somewhere, like if you are truly stuck somewhere, you will hardly find an answer on the Google, right? So you have to go with, like, try different things out of blue, or like you have to find a solution of your own. So that is something like which I really liked in this particular technology, right? It
That's
basically forces you to go towards innovation instead of simply going to Google and find answers on Stack Overflow.
That's amazing. Yeah, we've obviously come a very long way since the early days when you joined, and so much progress being made, and we are still extremely early anyway. So I'm looking forward today to talk about like layer 2s and DEXes in general. Obviously, you as the founder of QuickSwap, that makes a lot of sense. So if you guys have any questions for the comments, just put them down on like anything layer 2 or DEXes or QuickSwap. We will try to address them in the end. And I'm just going to ask some general questions, and Ken will ask some more questions about QuickSwap and so on. So starting off is like, what do you think is the future for layer 2, considering that Ethereum 2 or like Ethereum moves like to a new blockchain, to Sharding, and they will have like much higher scalability and so on. And what do you think is the future of Polygon in particular as well?
Yeah, I mean, like, see, sharding is still away, right? I don't see sharding, coming into production maybe next 2 years or so, right? Because most of the stuff is still under research, I would say, right? So it's not yet production ready, and it will take some time. But in my opinion, like, see, as you said, these sharding solutions will be more reliable, more scalable. But by that time, next 2 years, these layer 2 solutions will be more scalable. They'll be more reliable, right? And the most important thing is, apart from the technology, like, that will grow, that will definitely scale. But apart from the technology, it's a community, it's a projects that's going on these solutions, right? So in 2 years, like, even today, like, if you go to Polygon, there are tons of projects being developed on Polygon, and tons of good projects. Like, it's not like some, a POC kind of stuff. No, it's not only POC, but good projects, real world projects or products are being developed on Polygon. So in 2 years from now, when the sharding is actually out there, when the ETH 2.0 is actually out there, I can see Polygon community or the Polygon ecosystem would have grown to a level where you cannot simply ignore it, right? You cannot simply go away with Polygon. But apart from that, when sharding comes into place, like, the entire concept of ETH 2.0 is there will be a one main chain, like in a nutshell, and then will be a multiple beacon chains out there, or side chains out there, I would say, right? So that's the entire concept of ETH 2.0. So, like, in my opinion, I'm not sure how it's going to work in 2 years, because like 2 years in blockchain industry is too long to predict what's going to happen, right? In this industry, even 6 months is a long time to predict what's going to happen. So we cannot predict what's going to happen in 2 years. But in my opinion, all these layer 2 solutions, they will somehow become part of the main Ethereum ecosystem, because these like, especially Polygon, like if I talk about Polygon, so Polygon is not there to compete with Ethereum. Polygon is there, to scale Ethereum. That's the whole ideology behind Polygon, right? And that's the same ideology we have towards QuickSwap. So we are not competitor of Uniswap. They are there, like, we created QuickSwap in the first place to scale Uniswap, right? So what was not possible with Uniswap, we like decided we'll do that with QuickSwap. So we are not a competitor, right? We are a scalability solutions for these products which have proven themselves. So in 2 years from now, when the sharding is already out there, I think there will be a way for everyone to coexist. And in my opinion, like, all these layer 2 solutions will become part of the shards, the different shards out there.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm really looking forward to see how this all plays out, really. Like, thinking about like how these projects evolve, so they need to be governed by their stakeholders, and you also have the Quick token, which is governing QuickSwap. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think it is to a certain extent at least. So I'm wondering, like, what is your take on coin voting in particular? Because we had a lot of discussions on that on our staking summit last week as well, and we feel like there's a lot of improvement that can be made on coin voting. So what do you think about it in terms of the governance for QuickSwap as well?
See, I think, the entire governance mechanism, especially in the DeFi industry, is in its very early stages. It's in its infant stages, I would say, right? So with in phase one of the projects, when the phase one of the projects launched, like I'm talking about Uniswap V1 like kind of projects. At that time, there was no governance out there, right? No tokens out there. But then we realized, since this is a decentralized economy, we are talking about a decentralized world. We're talking about a decentralized projects, right? So we need a governance as well, right? And which is decentralized in nature, right? So it's like very similar to how a centralized company works or a centralized product work. You have a Microsoft shares, right? And the Microsoft like shareholders, they have right to vote on like whatever the proposal is out there. So I think a very similar model is coming in the decentralized economy as well. But the only difference is here the voting rights are given to the token holders. And we are seeing this, I would say, the phase one of how governance will work. And that governance is there, but I would say like a lot of improvement is still required out there, because like even at QuickSwap, we do not see a lot of quick token holders. They do not like participate in, right? Or like if you are providing a different kind of staking mechanism, let's assume on staking rewards tomorrow we start a new staking program or a new staking module where if you stake quick token, you earn some other token out there, right? So now you have put your token, stake quick tokens onto that staking contract, right? So now when the voting happens, I do not own my tokens. Now my tokens are part of the staking reward contracts, right? So now how do I get right right to vote, right? Or if my tokens are vested, how do I get right to vote even if my tokens are vested? So in decentralized economy, in centralized world, this is very easy to do, right? Because everything is there in the centralized depository, right? And they track everything. But in decentralized world, you do not know, like we do not at QuickSwap, we do not know at how many places the quick token is being used, like how many different projects are using quick tokens. We literally don't know that. Now the biggest problem in the governance is, if our token holders token, if they are stuck somewhere or they are staked somewhere, they're not able to participate in the governance, right? Every time. So every time what we have to do is, right now we are using snapshots, right? It's a very famous protocol out there. You are using a snapshot, but the snapshot has a limitation. You basically has to tell a snapshot beforehand that quick token is staked in these protocols out, like in this different contracts, should be considered as part of the governance vote, right? So all the holders should be there. But we do not have any idea. We know about couple of projects or couple of places where users stake our like dquick or quick tokens, but we do not know about the other places where the quick is being used. So I think the next level of improvement that we'll see in governance protocols is, even if my tokens are staked somewhere, I'm earning some yield out of it, I should still be able to vote. So governance is still in the very early stages, I would say, very rudimentary stages, like and a lot of thing needs to be done to properly implement this thing.
Yeah, cool. What do you think is in general, like the main value proposition for quick or dequick staking, like at QuickSwap, or like for AMMs in general? Like, is it comparable to like owning stocks and dividends in traditional finance, or like how would you compare it, and what's the main value proposition there?
So
is it important for like adoption of your project or the technologies in general?
So I wouldn't say it's a dividend token kind of stuff. No, I mean, like it's not something like that. It's not like it's not like a share of the share into something, because these products are not like, it's not a company, right? So this product is a decentralized product. So you're not owning a share in that kind of stuff. You are getting a portion of in the voting power. So you just have a voting power out there when you hold quick token, right? That's the main utility of quick token, right? But now there are other use cases as well, right? So some we see different projects using quick token or dequick token through different mechanism. Like there is a protocol, I think there are multiple protocols like lending protocols out there on Polygon which have quick tokens in there, right? Even at QuickSwap, we have like developed different products which use quick tokens, right? So, but I wouldn't say, like, I will not compare it with the shares, because like in a centralized world, shares has multiple roles, right? They play a role of security as well. Like they have multiple roles out there. But at QuickSwap or in DeFi or in blockchain world, like most of the tokens, they are not shares in my personal opinion, they are not shares basically, right? Because in shares you also get a dividend, right? But here we are not like generating any kind of dividend, right? Staking is a different thing. It's not a dividend, right? When you stake your tokens, you generate some kind of yield, but that's again not a dividend, right? So you're not getting any kind of dividends out here or kind of stuff. So it's not very much similar to it. Yeah, it has some properties of it, like you get a voting power, I would say. I think that's the one property which is similar in both cases, that you get a voting power. Apart from that, like tokens has all different use cases, and most of the tokens, I would say, they are a utility token. They have some kind of utility in the platform. So in case of QuickSwap, if you own a Quick token, there are multiple utilities out there. There's a product called Dragon Slayer. So on every DEX, there is a trading fee. I think we all know that, right? So in case of QuickSwap, there's a trading fee of 0.3%, right? Out of that 0.3%, we give 0.25%, sorry, to the liquidity providers, because liquidity providers are the heart and soul of any AMM out there, right? So same is in our case as well. Now, out of remaining 0.05%, 0.01% goes to the QuickSwap Foundation, and that fund is basically used for development, marketing, and basically day-to-day task or running of QuickSwap. And the remaining 0.04% basically goes to the Dragon Slayer, right? So now if you have Quick tokens and if you have staked your Quick tokens into the Dragon Slayer, you get a portion of that 0.04% as per your stakes in that, right? So basically it's used for staking, I would say, right? Not some kind of dividend or not some kind of security. Yeah.
Right. But as long as stakers get some part of the trading fees, this is like where they get the profit share, right? For staking. So it's in a sense comparable, that they still get like incentivized for staking by receiving a profit share, isn't it?
I think that's true for like every staking protocol out there, not just this specific staking. When you do a liquidity mining as well, like I think that's very similar as well, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like same in lending protocols as well.
Yeah, and then like talking about these liquidity incentives that you also have at QuickSwap, like how sustainable do you think is that, like in general, like across all protocols, because there's so much liquidity still mainly incentivized by like distributing tokens, and that's like across like the whole industry, like everything is like highly incentivized. So like could there be a scenario once like these incentives dry out, that all the liquidity dries out as well, and like how would that turn out? And do you think that's sustainable that we have right now, or like when needs to what needs to happen to turn this into a sustainable economy in a sense?
So it's a very interesting question, right? And like just to answer your question, right? Uniswap is out there. They do not have any kind of rewards, but it's still the biggest DEX, right? So I think Uniswap basically answers this question, that to sustain a DEX, you do not need rewards, right? What you need is a volume, right? So because see, every DEX has a 0.3% trading fees, right? Like Uniswap and Uniswap clones I'm talking about, right? So they have a 0.3% trading fees. And if you have enough volume, right, so that 0.35% is a good incentive for liquidity providers to provide liquidity on the exchanges, right? Not, let's talk about the rewards, right? So specifically in case of QuickSwap, our tokenomics basically revolve entirely around the rewards. Almost 95% is being kept for the community or for the governance, I would say. Like basically the governance will decide what will happen out of those 95%. And I'm 100% sure, like out of that 95%, 90% of that will be used for liquidity mining programs, right? So I think, for QuickSwap, it's more like a user acquisition model, right? Where we wanted to incentivize users to come to the platform, liquidity providers to come to the platform, provide liquidity, right? So once we have enough liquidity onto the platform, see, for any DEX to survive, you need deep liquidity. Until and unless you have deep liquidity, no one's going to come to your platform to trade, right? So for traders, especially for big traders, you need a deep liquidity. Otherwise, there will be a very huge price impact. There will be very huge slippage out there, right? So to have that deep liquidity, we have liquidity mining programs out there, right? And that program is going to run for almost 4 years, I would say, right? So our target in those 4 years is to attract enough liquidity and enough volume onto the platform so that once these rewards dry out, our volume sustains the DEX, right? And that's already happening in case of Uniswap. So basically, Uniswap has proven that particular model, that if you have enough volume, right, you can still attract good liquidity providers onto your platform. Uniswap has no reward running right now. They ran reward just for 60 days, right, when they launched Uniswap V2, but they are still the biggest DEX on Ethereum, right? Like bigger than other DEXs who are still providing rewards, right? And the only reason is they have good volumes. They have like volumes in billions of dollars every day. So they generate millions of dollars in fees every day, right? So basically liquidity providers are getting millions of US dollar per day as portion of fees, right? Which other DEXs are not able to match up even with their rewards, right? So the sustainability of a DEX does not depend on the rewards. It depends on the volume, I would say, right? And like we are working towards that volume, like to increase the volume, and like that's why we are partnering. We partner with we have partnered with hundreds of projects till now, and one of the major focus that we have in partnering with any project is how much volume can they bring to us, like how many users do they have. So if we partner with them, how much volume we'll get, because we know that it's the volume that's going to sustain the DEX. It's not the rewards, because rewards will dry, like it will be drained one day, right? So we cannot simply rely on rewards, and that's why like we get tons of volume. So like I think the record for QuickSwap for 24-hour volume was $1.5 billion. So like on one day we had a volume of $1.5 billion on average. These days we have somewhere around 100 to 150 million dollar volume per day. So it's already generating like somewhere around 300 to 400,000 US dollar as a fees per day, right? So the TVL to volume ratio in case of QuickSwap is good, and we are like trying to improve that as well, right? So yeah, so just to like briefly answer your question, it's not the rewards that's going to sustain the DEX, it's the volume.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But wouldn't that mean like if it's the volume, that because the volume is making the markets efficient in a sense, so I could argue that it's like a kind of winner takes it all market for the DEX with the highest liquidity in the market, because it's the most efficient AMM that users want to use. How do you see that like playing out in the future in terms of competition of AMM or AMM on Ethereum? And yeah, what do you think is the future for that, and how will that play out? And how could these AMM differentiate themselves more than just from more liquidity?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's again a very interesting question, right? So, I like see, in my opinion, like all these DEXs, they are not competing with each other, right? So, specifically, if you talk about DEXs on Ethereum or DEXs on Polygon or on BSC, right? So, the main competition right now is not between DEXs on a Polygon on any ecosystem. So, if I am on Polygon ecosystem, and we have like 4 or 5 different DEXs out there, we have Define, we have Sushi, we have QuickSwap, we have like Balancer as well. We have like multiple exchanges are out there, right? So like the more exchanges we have, okay, so right now what happens basically is the liquidity is thinned on one particular exchange, right? So if a new exchange is going to come on Polygon someday, some users might go away from QuickSwap and put liquidity over there, right? But the biggest benefit is, like, suppose like when Sushi came on Polygon, like everybody thought that they are competitors, like they will compete with us, right? QuickSwap, like Sushi is going to be a biggest threat to QuickSwap or like anyone if they come. But I don't see them as a competitor, because see what happens when any AMM or any DEX they come onto the ecosystem, they bring a plethora of users as well with them, right? They bring their community to the ecosystem as well, right? And like that's more important right now. Like if you talk about growth, like we all, like everybody talks about bringing next 1 million or 10 million users into the blockchain, and that can only happen when these biggest projects will be there, when there will be multiple DEXs out there, right? It's not just one DEX stuff, right? If you talk about one DEX gets all, it's not going to work. It's like saying one bank gets all. There's only one bank, which is called World Bank, no other banks out there, right? It's not like how it works. So you need multiple DEXs out there, and the important thing is every DEX or every ecosystem should be able to communicate with each other. In cases of DEX, we are seeing that through aggregators, right? And in case of like blockchain ecosystem, we are seeing that through different multi-chain solutions out there, right? So the important thing is everyone should be able to interact with each other. So if I want to trade, let's say 100,000 US dollar USDC to ETH on Polygon today, like I should not, I should have an option to split my trade between multiple exchanges, so that I get the best prices. And aggregators are doing that right now. So if you want to do that trade, like you don't have to go to QuickSwap or Define or Sushi. You can simply go to ParaSwap, do your trade, and ParaSwap internally will split your trade through multiple exchanges out there to give you the best prices. So I think that's how the future will look like, right? So there will be multiple DEXs out there, right? Everyone will have its own pros and cons. So some DEX will be known for certain product, other DEX will be known for other product, right? There are other features, I would say. And now it's up to you which particular feature you want, right? It's very much similar to bank. If you go to bank, like there are 5 or 6 different banks, and you choose a bank according to your needs, right? So if you choose SDFC, that doesn't make JP Morgan bad, right? Or if you choose JP Morgan, doesn't make SDFC bad. You choose bank as per your needs, right? What's best for you, right? Similarly, in case of DEX, like LP providers, they basically choose, or traders, they basically choose DEX as per their need. If they are like okay with the rewards, right now I'm talking about, if they're okay with the rewards on QuickSwap, right? The rewards that is running on QuickSwap is like, they are okay with that, they will choose QuickSwap. But if they want to provide a liquidity in a certain pair which is not rewarded on QuickSwap but it's rewarded on Sushi, like they will go to Sushi Swap, right? So I think right now it's more about a use case or usage or your needs, right? And as per your needs, as per your a pair that you want to provide liquidity into or trade into, you choose a DEX right now. That's how it works. So that's why at QuickSwap we are not only running rewards for 3 or 4 or 5 pairs, we are like running rewards for hundreds of pairs out there basically, so that we can attract more liquidity providers, more projects to the platform.
But isn't that right now more like people just choosing their DEX because of the reward incentives rather than the differentiating factors? Like, because I don't see like a lot of differentiating product features in DEXes, right?
Right now I completely agree with you, but that's going to change in the future, I would say, right? Because different kind of stakings are coming as well, a very complex staking mechanisms coming. So even if you go to QuickSwap, at QuickSwap we have like 4 or 5 different levels of staking programs running out there, right? So we have Dragon's Lair, then we have Syrup, then we have dual rewards running, then we have like single LP rewards running. So multiple things happening right now, right? So right now I would say, as I said, even the DEXes are in very early stages, right? We'll see a lot of innovation happening in DEXes, a lot of differentiating factors coming in the future as well. But right now you are right, it's mostly rewards. Like people like mostly look out for the rewards right now.
Yeah. What do you think is the most exciting project outside of QuickSwap on Polygon right now at this point?
So there is a very innovative project which is coming on Polygon, which is Polytrade, right? I really love that project because like that particular project is bringing basically trade finance onto blockchain, and I really love the idea. And more than the idea, I like the team behind it. So the team behind Polytrade, they are very enthusiastic, very hardworking, and like for almost last 8 or 9 months, they are working really hard towards it, right? And so that's why like I see that particular project going to be a successful project in the future. They have recently launched their MVP, and I really love that particular project.
Thank you, Sameep, for all these interesting insights into the Polygon ecosystem and some brief talk about QuickSwap as well. So getting more into QuickSwap specific questions, I know you already went over some of the use cases of the Quick token, but could you also elaborate how the utility for the Quick token will change over time? And in regards to the price, is it currently driven by speculation, or is there actual utility driving the price of the Quick token as well?
Okay, so like to talk about prices, like I don't think it's being run by speculation anymore, right? So in the early stages, I would say, yeah, it was more of an speculation that how the platform is going to perform, how like what's the utility of the token. But right now, it's more about the utility and about the DEX. I think that's what governing the price. Like you can never really answer this question whether it's speculation or like what's behind the prices. But like in my honest opinion, like it's not a speculation anymore, right? Because we have tons of utility now, right? So it's no more a speculation, right? And the biggest utility is you can put it in Dragon's Lair, right? You get a DQuick token, and then you can put your DQuick token into the syrup pools basically, and you get more basically APYs out of there. So that's one of the reasons. Apart from that, like now Quick is part of different lending protocols as well, right? And we are doing partnership with like different projects. So just to increase the utility, right? So I think that's what driving the prices right now. It's not like speculation anymore.
Definitely. And QuickSwap, like other exchanges like SushiSwap, Balancer, Curve, offers staking. You already mentioned it with Dragon's Lair, for instance. Why would you think a large player like Uniswap is not offering a product similar to what Dragon's Lair is?
See, so every, like as I said, every DEX has their own like value proposition, right? So Uniswap, I'm not sure like what their team is thinking around right now, but I think they see our purpose of, like as I said before, our purpose of doing all these rewards, all these staking programs was to acquire more users, right? To get more eyes onto the platform, right? That was the entire like theory behind this, right? I think in case of Uniswap, since they were the first big DEXes, so they don't need to do this already, right? They can focus on other like priorities, other products and stuff, because they already have big users there. They already have whales. They have good trading volume out there, right? So why do this, right? Now, why not focus on other innovations and other stuff like they launched Uniswap V3? But for us, like first we need to survive, right? That was the first thing, right? When we launched on Polygon, we needed users, we needed liquidity, we needed trading volume. Until unless we have that, we cannot do anything, right? So that's why we started with this like concept in the first place, right? To make a place in the market first of all.
Very interesting perspective there. So basically, Uniswap had the first mover advantage. They didn't need to provide additional incentives to attract users.
Exactly.
So yeah. And for everyone watching that doesn't know, Dragonites is the name for your community of users as well. And this next question will certainly get the Dragonites going a bit. So the Dragon Syrup is where users can deposit DQuick tokens, staked Quick, to earn more, right? So can you explain this process and how Quick tokens are involved and how users can benefit from this?
Yeah, I mean, like the process is very simple. There's a Dragon Slayer page on QuickSwap. If you own some, Quick tokens, you simply need to go to Dragon Slayer, stake your tokens over there, right? That's it. Now you'll get a DQuick token, which is another token, right? And you get it when you stake your Quick token on Dragon Slayer. Now, when you do that, you start earning portion of trading fees, like that is 0.04%. Like as I said before, like it's as simple as that. Like just give me a second. Like there's someone I need. Just give me a second, okay? No, guys, just a second.
Okay. Yeah, and Mirko, I think this is a great interview so far. We're learning a lot about QuickSwap and the different features they have, the different products they have, additional yield opportunities. So once you use the Dragon Slayer product, you actually get a DQuick token, which can further be staked. So you're earning yield on top of yield at this point. Really is an interesting product that they've come up with here.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, sorry guys, like I had to like urgently go somewhere, but anyways, yeah, it's a very exciting product, I would say, Dragon Slayer, and we see tons of Quick being staked over there, right? And the other benefit is, as I said, Quick has different levels of staking programs out there. So when you stake your Quick tokens on Dragon, now you are already getting a portion of the platform's trading fee if you are in there, right? Now you have your DQuick tokens, you can go to the syrup. We have almost, I'm not sure, but somewhere around 40 syrup pools running right now. You can choose a syrup pool as per your liking, which particular project you like, right? You want to invest into. You can stake your DQuick tokens over there and start earning that particular project's token as well, right? So basically, it's a chain of, staking mechanisms, or it's a chain of mining that runs on QuickSwap. So suppose you have ETH and USDC tokens. You provide liquidity into ETH and USDC, you start earning trading fees, right, as an LP provider. Now you have an LP token, you stake it into the rewards program, you start earning DQuick tokens, right? So we like directly give DQuick tokens. Now when you get DQuick token, you are already getting part of the trading fees from the Dragon Slayer. Now you stake your DQuick token into the syrup pool and you start earning project like that particular project token as well, right? So in case of QuickSwap, this is also a very differentiating factor. Like all the staking programs, they are linked to each other, right? So if you are doing things intelligently, you will earn like tons of rewards.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting to the users of Staking Rewards platform. We have 5 million monthly views, and everyone that comes to the website is looking to learn more about the different yields they can generate with the different assets we have listed. So Quick would definitely like to go into the different staking types and show how a user can not only earn yield using the Dragon Slayer product, but then further interacting with the syrup pools and getting yield on top of yield. So really cool stuff there, incentive program you guys have designed. So you did mention earlier, Sameep, the name of the game is to attract as much liquidity as possible. And that's really what the long-term staying power is going to have for DEXes. So QuickSwap has a bridge function that forwards what looks like to a third-party bridge called AllBridge by APY Swap Foundation. So what role does this bridge specifically play for users of QuickSwap? And are there any plans to own this product in the future?
See, Bridge is not a product of QuickSwap, I would say, right? So Bridge is not needed for QuickSwap. Bridge is needed for the Polygon, like every layer 2 out there, right? So basically what happens, like these tokens, like these native tokens, this Ethereum, ETH token, USDC, USDT, DAI, like WBTC, everything out there, they were launched on Ethereum. Or every new, like 90% of the new projects that comes on board, they launch their token on Ethereum, right? They do not launch it directly on Polygon. There are some projects which do directly on Polygon, but most of them, they launch the token on Ethereum. Even in case of QuickSwap, we launched our token on Ethereum, right? Now, when you come to Polygon, you need some kind of bridge to move your assets from Ethereum to Polygon, right? Those that's those bridges, right? We do not own those bridges, right? So right now we support 3 bridges because we have listed tokens of these, of that bridges in our default list. So that's why you see a link over there, right? So one of them is a POS bridge, which is a native Polygon bridge, developed by the native Polygon team, and 95% of the tokens basically are bridged to that particular bridge. Now then we have a relay bridge as well, right? So some of the tokens like AVX and all that tokens, basically they are bridged to that particular bridge, and that bridge is maintained by relay team, right? Now we have Sol bridge as well, which is bridge to Solana, right? So that bridge is maintained by their team, and we do not have any plan to take over those bridges, right? Because our role is to develop DEX and to excel in the DEX technology, not in the bridge technology, I would say, right? So bridge technology is for those guys to handle and to excel into, right? So we do not want to put our hands into multiple different things, right? We want to stay into one particular aspect of the DeFi ecosystem, and we want to excel in that. We want to provide the best services in that ecosystem, in that particular aspect, right? And that is DEX for now for us. So it's not bridge, right? We will definitely integrate with multiple bridges in the future. Definitely. Right now we have 3. We'll partner with more, right, as new bridges come onto the platform. But we'll focus entirely on DEX for now.
Yeah, and great answer there. It really lets our users know that you guys are focused on making the best DEX experience possible. And for any bridge functionality, you guys are just using other products that have been developed by other teams, and they're maintained by these other teams as well. So good to see that you're aligned on the DEX vertical there. So getting into your team, how large is your team here at QuickSwap, and how are you organized from a legal point of view? What kind of role does your setup and organizational structure play for the future of QuickSwap?
So first of all, I would like to say QuickSwap is not basically governed by any company's kind of stuff, right? So we are complete, okay, and we do not have any investors as well, right? So I think we are one of the very few projects which have grown organically, 100% organic growth you see over here. And we have 0 investors to date, till date, we have 0 investors, right? And we are not governed by any company, right? So I think it's better to understand how QuickSwap started, right? So to answer this question, right? So I think QuickSwap is one of the very few, I think I do not see any other example out there, but one of the very few 100% community-based project out there. How it started, basically in last year, in somewhere in July, August, we started seeing a lot of gas fees, and the Ethereum prices was going up. So the transaction cost was exponentially increasing, 100 or 200 times. It was increasing in that ratio, I would say, right? Then we realized that this is not going to work, right? If you want to bring next 1 million or 10 million users onto the ecosystem, they cannot pay this gas price. I was not willing to pay $10 to do a single trade on Uniswap. No, right? Because I'm not a whale. I'm not making $1 million trade so that I'm okay with one $10 fee. I'm making a, let's say, $200 trade, $500 trade, $1,000 trade, and if I have to pay $10 as a transaction fee plus 0.3% as a trade fee, right? That's not going to work for me. I'm not going to use it, right? That's what we realized. Then we decided we want to, this technology is good, great, but we want to scale this. That's when we decided we will develop QuickSwap, right? Or, a DEX on layer 2, right? So basically, I came forward. So basically Sandeep Nelwal from the Polygon team, at that time it was Matic, he basically, encouraged us to do this, right? Guys, you should do this, right? Because this is the need of the future. And he picked me, right? And we came on, basically he talked to me, we had a discussion, and then we chose LDA team again. They were again doing a lot of stuff, interesting stuff in the community. So basically from community, right, we were part of the ecosystem, blockchain community, and from the community, me, Rock from LDA, Nick Much, we came all forward, created a team sort of stuff, a community team kind of stuff, and developed QuickSwap. And we decided we are not going to take any investment because we want to make this project a community project, right? We are not going to back it by any company because we do not want to do that, right? We want this to be run by the community in the future. That's the plan, right? So we do not have any legal entity behind it, right? And nothing of that sort, right? So now the team right now is basically, me. We have basically hired a few developers, right, that are working full-time on this. Again, those are community developers, I would say. We get a lot of contribution from the community team members as well, which are not paid, basically, I would say, but they, contribute a lot both in the marketing side, in the development side, in the sales, not sales, I would say, but in the BD side, right? So that's how basically QuickSwap governs right now. We have a team, right? And it's a community team, I would say. LDA basically manages a lot of thing in the marketing. Apart from that, we have, few people from the community who are working full time in QuickSwap, right? Same for development side as well.
Yeah, really cool to hear that story that you basically a community run project, and it's so rare to see these type of projects existing in today's marketplace where you have VCs just looking to throw money at the next innovative idea that comes to market. So really cool to see that you guys have kind of stuck to your roots as being that community project. So now
yep. Do you actually do you plan to become a DAO, or how do you make the voting internally, like who takes which responsibilities? Because that's really fascinating that you're completely decentralized in a way, but there's not like a DAO backing it up, or any company or anything really. It's more like, I don't know, like Ethereum or Bitcoin, like they're fully decentralized and there's no like DAO like in for many Ethereum projects. Or do you have any plans to do something like this, to establish any kind of formal structure around the kind of people that are working on QuickSwap?
I mean, yeah, we do, right? So we wanted to launch like the full-fledged governance, I would say, or DAO-based governance on day one. But then we realized, until and unless, see, every project out there, it needs kind of hand-holding in the early stages, right? Otherwise, it's not going to survive. Like that's what we realized looking into few of the projects who did this in the past, right? That's what we realized. So what we did, in the initial 5 or 6 months, there was no governance around it, right? The community members who started this project, they used to take every decision out there. When the project matured, we started with a very basic governance on a snapshot protocol, right? And right now, that's what we are using, right? So there's a lot of governance boards that happen right now. We recently inducted Sandeep from Polygon, like founder of Polygon, as an advisor, right? And we did not do this on our own. We basically ran a community governance board around this. So if community agrees to bringing Sandeep on board, we will bring it. That's what we decided. We even told Sandeep that Sandeep, we will only be able to bring you only when the community approves of it, because this is not our project. We are like also member of the community. We are not the owners of this particular protocol. Like we never say that me, Rock, or Nick, we are not the owners of QuickSwap. No, we are the ones who started it, but we, again, like everyone else, we are a community member out there, right? So that's how it works right now. But in the future, like our plan, when this protocol like grows more, and then we like want to launch complete governance, I would say, right? Full-fledged governance. But we are still looking into it, because like as I said, right now it's not easy to do a full-fledged governance out there. It's not that easy, right? So even in the very mature protocols, even today's state protocols like Uniswap or Aave, most of the those protocols even are not like 100% community run, right? Somebody has to send a proposal, and most of the proposals comes from the team, right? So we want to move to that particular direction, and we are doing that, right? And that's why we launched our governance on a snapshot. And in the future, I'm not sure like how it's going to work again in next 6 months or 7 months or a year, but we definitely want to move towards into that direction where everything is run by the community. And when we feel, or when the community feels, that this is achievable, right? And this is not going to kill the project, we'll definitely do that.
And some important feedback from the staking ecosystem report, where we basically surveyed industry leaders within the staking ecosystem around governance and DAO participation. UI UX was a huge barrier for participation. So when you're thinking about developing this product down the line, make sure the UI UX experience for the user is frictionless, and that will definitely increase your participation rates.
Yeah, definitely.
So getting to the point in the show now where we're going to take some audience questions. Looks like we had some Dragonites on the side there making some comments, and we did have a good one here from AOW95. So just going to read this here to you. So do you believe in the future? Let's see. Is there any business case for DEX to have a built-in aggregator that scrapes other DEXes? Also, what's the best yield opportunity you currently see in the Polygon ecosystem?
See, I don't think that any DEX should have aggregator built in which will scrap liquidity from other DEXs, because see, as I said before, the purpose of DEX is to excel in the decentralized exchange technology. It's not an aggregator, right? For aggregators, you have different aggregators out there. So like what I believe is in the blockchain especially in the decentralized ecosystem, it is very important for a particular product to just focus on one aspect of the thing, not on everything out there, right? So if you are a DEX, you should focus on excelling the DEX technology, how you can provide the best experience out like in this particular technology, right? What you can do. If you are an aggregator, like you should focus on aggregation itself, right? How to do a proper aggregation. The first level of aggregation is aggregation within the blockchain, and the next level of aggregation is aggregation within multiple blockchains, right? So if I am doing a, let's say, a trade on Polygon, I should have an ability in the future where if I'm doing a trade of 1000 ETH, that 1000 ETH should be swapped not just on Polygon but on different blockchains. Like every, like entire liquidity should be trapped. So aggregation is not just about aggregating the liquidity. Aggregation is a very big term, and I don't think any DEX is going to do that in the future, right? Because aggregation itself is a different product. And as I said before, like especially in decentralized ecosystem, you should focus on one thing. If you're going to focus on multiple things, you are going to thin out your resources, you are going to thin out your energy out there, because now you have to take care of two big products, not just DEX. You're working on aggregator as well, right? So instead of doing that, why not just focus on one? And if you want to do an aggregation, why do not, I mean, like instead of developing your own product, you should partner someone with some of the aggregators out there who are already spending all of their time, all of their resources, energy, money, everything on this technology. Why not partner with them, right? So why, instead of reinventing the wheel which someone else is already doing, why don't you simply partner with them, right? I think that strategy in our opinion is more viable, and that's what we are doing at QuickSwap. Instead of doing everything on our own, we simply partner with the best in that particular space domain.
Right, like you've kind of shown with the bridge aspect as well there, just partnering with teams that are already handling that side of things. So Sameep, this has been an absolute pleasure having you on here, talking about QuickSwap, just educating our audience more about the different products you have and what you're up to. So where can people go to follow you and learn more about the stuff you're working on?
You can follow me on Twitter, right? I'm very active on Twitter. You can follow me there, or you can go to our Telegram channel as well, official Telegram channel. Like I'm pretty much active over there as well. You can go over there as well. I think that's the best place to connect with me, to interact with me, or to follow what's going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, everyone. This was Sameep Singhania, and a co-founder of QuickSwap. Please, everyone, be sure to check out previous episodes of Staking Mondays. Be sure to read our 2021 ecosystem report that was released late last week, and also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here. You can always listen to this episode on Spotify and just search Staking Rewards. You'll be able to pull that up. So as always, everyone, happy staking. And this episode today was sponsored by P-Stake. So we're going to just play a little clip now from these guys. P-Stake. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, guys.
With P-Stake, users can stake assets like Atom through the P-Stake protocol to gain staking rewards. P-Stake users also receive a wrapped asset, which represents the underlying staked asset. These derivative tokens can be used on Ethereum-based DeFi platforms, with support for more networks in the future. So users can maximize their yield by providing liquidity on DEXes. They can also be used as collateral for loans and much more, in addition to receiving staking rewards for the underlying asset. Why choose between staking rewards and DeFi opportunities when you can have both with P-Stake?